The alien trade vessel Drift Crown entered Earth orbit, like a floating city made of silver glass. Its engines glowed softly, painting the dark sky with slow waves of blue light. Millions of humans watched the live broadcast from their homes, their streets, and crowded public screens. The aliens called this a friendly visit. Their captain called it something else. Captain Rule stood tall on the command deck, his armor polished to a mirror shine. He had a wide chest and thick limbs that showed the strength of his species. Cameras floated around him as he spoke to the galaxy. "Earth," he said with a grin, "a charming little world. Low status. Low gravity. Soft people." Laughter echoed from the alien crew behind him. "They are decorations," Rule continued. "Not warriors, not builders. Decorations." The broadcast spread fast. On Earth, reactions were mixed. Some people were angry, some were amused. Others simply watched, curious to see what would happen next. Earth's council responded calmly. Instead of threats, they sent an invitation. A small human team would board the Drift Crown for a cultural exchange. No weapons. No soldiers. Just conversation and demonstration. The aliens accepted quickly. They expected entertainment. 2 days later, a small shuttle docked with the Drift Crown. 3 humans stepped out into the alien hangar. Gravity shifted slightly to match the ship's environment. It felt light to them, like walking inside a dream. Leo walked first. He was an engineer with steady eyes and a relaxed posture. He looked like an ordinary man in a simple gray suit. Behind him came Mara, a security specialist with a quiet focus. Owen followed, carrying a medical kit and observing everything with calm curiosity. Alien workers gathered along the hangar walls. They whispered and laughed. The humans looked small. Captain Rule approached with heavy steps that echoed through the chamber. He looked Leo up and down. "This is Earth's strength?" Rule asked. Leo smiled politely. "This is Earth's greeting." More laughter. Rule gestured toward the main corridor. "Come. We prepared a welcome event. The crew needs humor." The humans followed. The corridors were wide and bright, filled with humming machines and glowing panels. The air smelled sharp and metallic. Every alien they passed stared openly. They entered a circular arena filled with floating cameras. A crowd surrounded the lower platform. This was not a quiet meeting. It was a show. Rule raised his arms. "Today we celebrate friendship and physics." The audience cheered. A group of young alien cadets stepped forward, dragging a thick metal bar attached to weighted blocks. "Simple trial," Rule said. "Lift and hold. A test for cadets." One cadet lifted the bar with effort, muscles shaking. The crowd applauded. The cadet set it down proudly. Rule turned to Leo. "Would Earth like to try?" Leo hesitated. "We are here for exchange, not competition." A cadet smirked and shoved Mara lightly. In alien gravity, the push was careless. Mara barely moved. She blinked, surprised. Leo's eyes hardened for a moment, then he nodded. "We will participate." The crowd leaned forward. Leo stepped to the bar. He crouched, tested the balance, and lifted. The bar rose smoothly. He stood upright, holding it as if it were nothing more than a travel bag. He kept his face neutral. He did not strain. Silence spread through the arena. Leo lowered the bar gently. The cadets stared. One tried to laugh, but it came out weak. Rule crossed his arms. "Lucky angle," he said. "Try movement." Mara stepped forward without being asked. She lifted the bar and walked a slow circle. Her steps were steady. She even rolled her shoulders as if stretching. A murmur rolled through the crowd. Owen leaned toward Leo. "We should slow down," he whispered. Leo nodded. "We are?" A large block was brought into the arena. It was made from dense alloy, used for ceremonial strength trials. Even elite alien champions respected its weight. "This," Rule announced, "is tradition. Only proven warriors lift it. No outsider has succeeded." He smirked at Leo. "But perhaps decorations surprise us again." Up close, he could feel its mass through the floor. He flexed his fingers and adjusted his stance. The arena cameras zoomed in. He lifted. The block rose slowly, then steadily. Leo straightened and held it at waist height. His breathing stayed calm. The crowd froze. Some aliens stood. Others leaned forward, eyes wide. Leo set the block down carefully. The silence was heavy now. Not mocking. Not amused. Just stunned. Rule's jaw tightened. "Interesting," he said slowly. "Very interesting." He clapped once. The sound echoed. A proper demonstration is required. Tomorrow's cycle. Grand Arena. Full gravity calibration. We will test the limits of Earth. Decorations. The crowd roared, but the tone had changed. There was tension inside the excitement. Leo bowed slightly. We accept. Back in their assigned quarters, the humans sat around a small table. They're rattled, Owen said. They're proud, Mara corrected, and pride can be dangerous. Leo looked at the room's gravity monitor. Their ship runs lighter than Earth. We're still holding back without trying. Mara leaned forward. Tomorrow they'll adjust conditions. Maybe heavier. Maybe unstable. Leo nodded. We adapt. We always do. Later that cycle, Leo walked alone through a viewing corridor. Earth glowed in the distance, calm and blue. He pressed his hand to the glass. Soft footsteps approached. An alien technician stopped beside him. You lifted tradition? The technician said quietly. That unsettles many. Leo glanced over. We meant no insult. The technician shook his head. Strength changes balance. Balance scares leaders. Leo watched Earth again. We don't want balance broken. Just respected. The technician gave a slow nod and walked away. The next cycle arrived with electric anticipation. The grand arena was larger, louder, filled with spectators from multiple ships. Gravity fields shimmered faintly across the platform. Rule stood at the center. Today, he declared, we settle curiosity. We discover truth. The gravity shifted slightly. He felt the pull increase, but it was still comfortable. Across from him stood a towering alien champion, muscles coiled like cables. The champion lifted the ceremonial block with visible effort and held it high. The crowd cheered wildly. Rule gestured to Leo. Leo approached, rolled his shoulders once, and lifted the block again. This time the gravity spiked without warning. The platform hummed violently. Leo felt the sudden weight crash down like a wave. His knees bent, but he did not fall. The champion across from him collapsed instantly, the block slamming to the floor. Gasps filled the arena. Leo held the block, muscles burning now. Something was wrong. The gravity kept climbing. He lowered the block carefully and planted his feet. Captain Rule shouted orders. Technicians scrambled. The gravity field flickered out of control. Leo looked around. Aliens near the platform struggled to stand. Panic spread. He took a breath and prepared to move, because whatever was happening, it was about to get worse. And the entire arena was watching what a human would do next. The arena was in chaos. Gravity spikes rolled across the platform, bending metal railings and forcing alien spectators to cling to walls. The ceremonial block that had once symbolized alien strength now threatened to crush everything nearby. Leo's arms burned with effort, but his feet were steady. His eyes scanned the platform for the safest path. Owen shouted from the sidelines, Leo, the gravity field is unstable. Move carefully. Leo nodded. He adjusted his stance and shifted the block slightly to balance its weight. The humans had trained for adaptability, and their strength came from more than muscle. It was control, focus, and instinct honed under Earth's heavy gravity. Mara jumped onto the platform beside him. The crowd gasped at the sight of a second human standing so firm against impossible force. Together, they began moving the block toward the center of the platform, avoiding the areas where the gravity pulsed unpredictably. Captain Rule shouted orders, his voice full of anger and disbelief. Stabilize the platform. Now. The alien technician scrambled, pressing panels and adjusting energy fields. But the gravity continued to shift, stronger than any human or alien had experienced. Sparks flew from overloaded conduits, and a low hum vibrated through the arena. One alien champion tried to approach Leo, intending to push him off balance. The moment his hand touched the block, the gravity spike shifted and he fell backward, crashing into the arena wall. The crowd held its breath, fearing for his life. Leo gritted his teeth and lifted the block higher, careful to keep his balance. Mara stayed close, alert, and ready to react. She could see the fear in the alien spectators' eyes. Their mockery had disappeared completely. From above, a young cadet whispered to another, How can a human survive this? Their muscles are nothing compared to ours. Muscles? The other replied. It's not just muscles. Look at their control. He had not expected a single human to lift a ceremonial weight. Now 2 humans held it and moved against impossible gravity. His pride was cracking. Leo saw the platform start to tilt toward the side, threatening to crush one of the alien cameras. Without hesitation, he shifted his stance and used the block to counterbalance the platform. He could feel the sweat running down his face, his arms shaking, but he stayed focused. Every second counted. A small group of aliens had moved to a control panel at the side of the arena, whispering rapidly. She realized they were trying to increase the gravity spike, hoping the humans would fail. She grabbed a nearby alien console and jammed the controls, stopping the spike. Owen climbed onto the platform, supporting Leo from behind. Together, the humans adjusted their stance and balanced the weight. Their cooperation was seamless. Every movement was calculated, every step precise. The audience could not believe what they were seeing. Even Rule's closest advisors were pale, some whispering to each other about the humans' unusual endurance. Rule stepped forward, his pride battling the recognition of what was happening. "Leo, Mara, release the block," he commanded. "This is enough. We won't drop it, not until it's safe." The captain's face twisted. No human had ever defied a direct command like this before. His anger flared, but so did his respect, buried deep and reluctant. Suddenly, another gravity pulse hit the platform, this one stronger than before. The ceremonial block shifted dangerously. Leo's knees bent, his back straining, but he kept moving with the block. Mara assisted, pushing from the side, guiding it to a stable spot in the center. The alien crowd was silent, completely awed. No one had ever seen such strength and precision. The cadets whispered among themselves, fear and admiration mixed. Rule turned to his officers. "What is happening? Why are they not breaking? Their bodies, they adapt faster than ours, and their coordination, it is perfect." Leo felt the burn in his muscles, sweat dripping into his eyes, but he refused to let go, his mind focused on control, balance, and timing. He knew that if he faltered, the platform could collapse, injuring many. Mara kept her eyes on the cadets, trying to interfere with the controls. She disabled a few more panels to prevent further tampering. Owen shouted directions, calling out shifts in gravity so Leo and Mara could adjust. Finally, after several tense minutes that felt like hours, the gravity stabilized. The ceremonial block sat in the center of the platform, heavy but secure. Leo and Mara stepped back, breathing hard, sweat dripping from their faces. The arena erupted. Not in laughter, but in shocked applause. Some aliens knelt, overwhelmed by the human display. Cadets whispered to one another, realizing that Earth's species was unlike any they had encountered. Rule stood silently, his pride wounded but slowly transforming into something else. He had always believed his species to be the ultimate in strength. Now he realized that Earth humans were different. They were unpredictable, controlled, and endlessly resilient. "Tomorrow," Rule said quietly to himself, "we will see more." Back in their quarters, the humans removed their gear, muscles aching but spirits strong. Leo sat on a chair, wiping sweat from his brow. Mara leaned against the wall, breathing steadily. "They expected a show," Owen said, setting down his medkit. "We gave them a lesson of control, endurance, and teamwork. They won't forget it." Mara glanced at the gravity readings. "Tomorrow will be harder. They will calibrate the arena for maximum pressure. We need to prepare for that." Leo leaned back, looking out a viewport at Earth shining blue in the distance. "Then we adapt, as always." The next day, the arena was filled with even more spectators. Ships from distant systems hovered outside, their crews eager to witness the famed human demonstration. The gravity calibration was complete, adjusted to extreme levels meant to challenge every species. Rule's pride had shifted from arrogance to a tense, watchful caution. Leo and Mara stepped onto the platform again. The weight of expectation pressed on them heavier than the ceremonial block itself, but their focus did not waver. Owen followed closely, observing every readout, ready to guide them through the sudden shifts. As the ceremony began, the cadets brought out a new, more complex set of weights and obstacles. Their laughter was gone. Even Rule's smirk was tight, restrained. Every spectator sensed the same thought. These humans were not what they had expected. Leo lifted the first weight, moving it with precision. Mara followed, balancing herself against the shifting gravity. Each motion was deliberate, each step calculated. The crowd watched in awe as humans performed a feat beyond what their alien standards considered possible. Suddenly, a subtle tremor ran through the platform. The audience gasped. The humans adjusted, coordinating silently, shifting the weight in each other to maintain balance. The tremor increased, threatening collapse. Leo noticed small panels blinking on the side, evidence that some cadets were still trying to manipulate the gravity field. Mara reacted instantly, jamming the panels. Owen shouted adjustments, guiding Leo's movement. Together, the three humans stabilized the platform once again. The alien spectators were stunned into silence. Their previous expectations of human weakness had been completely shattered. Even the cadets who had tried to mock them were now whispering in disbelief, some kneeling in respect. Rule's face was a mixture of shock and reluctant admiration. He stepped forward, his voice strong but restrained. "Humans, you have survived what no other outsider could. I will watch tomorrow. I want to see the limits of your strength." Leo, Mara, and Owen exchanged looks. They knew tomorrow would bring even greater challenges, but they also knew that they had proven something crucial. Humans were more than flesh and muscle. They were endurance, cooperation, and adaptability combined into a force even the most confident aliens could not dismiss. As they left the arena, Leo looked out at Earth, its blue glow calm against the vastness of space. He clenched his fist lightly, feeling both fatigue and determination. Mara and Owen flanked him, silent but ready. Whatever awaited them tomorrow, they would face it together, and the galaxy would watch humanity rise. The next cycle in the arena began with a tense, charged atmosphere. Ships from multiple systems hovered outside, their occupants eager to see if the humans could survive the trials set by Captain Rule. The gravity calibration had been increased significantly, pushing the limits of both human and alien endurance. The ceremonial platform pulsed with energy, shifting subtly under the heavy forces. Leo, Mara, and Owen stood on the platform, their muscles tight, ready. They could feel the platform beneath them, quivering. The weight of expectation pressed down, but they were focused. Each had trained for endurance, precision, and teamwork. That training was about to be tested in ways they had never imagined. Captain Rule watched from the central deck, his face a mixture of pride and fear. He had underestimated the humans. Now he wanted to see their limits. He gave orders to activate a sudden increase in gravity to test endurance, but not everyone on the ship agreed with this approach. As the gravity intensified, the ceremonial block in front of the humans grew impossibly heavy. Cadets whispered to each other, some trying to secretly manipulate the controls further. Mara noticed them immediately, her eyes sharp, and moved quickly to jam the unauthorized adjustments. She was precise and calm, her movements saving both the humans and the platform from collapse. Leo adjusted his stance, balancing the weight with every ounce of strength and concentration he had. Sweat dripped down his face, but he did not falter. Every muscle burned, yet his mind remained calm. He shifted slightly to counteract a sudden tilt in the platform, and the crowd gasped at the sight. Owen followed closely, supporting the humans and monitoring the gravity field readings. Suddenly, a large tremor ran through the arena. The ceremonial block shifted dangerously, threatening to crush an alien spectator camera. Leo reacted instantly, using his body as a counterbalance. Mara assisted, guiding the block and keeping it from slipping. Their movements were flawless, synchronized in ways the aliens could not comprehend. Captain Rule barked orders, but the platform continued to tremble. Sparks flew from overloaded conduits and the arena lights flickered. A few of the alien champions attempted to step forward, intending to intervene, but the sudden gravity spike sent them tumbling. Even their strongest members were struggling to maintain balance. The humans worked in perfect coordination, adjusting constantly to the shifting forces. Leo moved the block, Mara assisted with its balance, and Owen shouted directions, helping them anticipate the next tremor. The crowd watched, shocked, unable to look away as the humans defied expectations once more. One cadet whispered to another, fear in his voice. "They survive, they control it. It is impossible." "Impossible is only what we have accepted before," the other replied quietly. Rule's face darkened. He had trained his entire life to be the strongest of his species, yet here were humans. Slim, unassuming, ordinary to the eye, moving and holding a weight that even elite aliens struggled with. His pride was challenged in ways he could not ignore. Suddenly, Leo noticed something alarming. A section of the platform beneath the ceremonial block was beginning to crack. The tremors had weakened it. If it collapsed, both humans and spectators would be at risk. Without hesitation, Leo adjusted the block's position, redistributing the weight. Mara joined him, bracing her own strength to support the shifting load. "Leo!" Owen shouted. "The platform is failing." "Move fast," Leo nodded. Every muscle tensed. He lifted the block higher, moving it toward a more stable section of the platform. Mara followed, keeping balance with precise movements. Sparks flew around him as overloaded conduits ignited small bursts of fire. The alien audience was silent, captivated by the humans' determination. They had expected showmanship, maybe luck. What they saw was focus, endurance, and teamwork beyond comprehension. Cadets who had mocked the humans earlier were now kneeling, whispering in awe. Rule's voice was low and controlled, but trembling with emotion. What? What are these humans? An officer nearby whispered. They are not just muscle. They adapt, control, and endure beyond anything we've trained for. It's remarkable. Leo felt his arm shaking, but he refused to let the fatigue dominate. He shifted his weight, adjusting for the next pulse and gravity. Mara and Owen mirrored his movements, creating a system of balance and support that was flawless. The ceremonial block moved safely to the center of the platform. Then, another tremor hit, stronger than before. The platform tilted dangerously. A wave of panic surged through the alien spectators. Some clung to walls, others shouted instructions frantically. Leo's hands ached, his back burned, but he tightened his grip and adjusted his stance. Mara pressed her strength against the block, guiding it smoothly. Owen called out every minor shift, keeping them ahead of the tremors. Suddenly, the humans noticed the source of the disruption. A small group of cadets had activated hidden panels, attempting to increase the gravity spike to break the humans. Mara acted immediately, jamming the controls, disabling the unauthorized spike. The tremor subsided, leaving the ceremonial block in the center of the platform steady. The crowd erupted in applause and awe. Their earlier expectations of human weakness were completely shattered. Cadets whispered among themselves, faces pale and eyes wide. Even the strongest alien champions were now silent, overwhelmed by what they had witnessed. Rule's pride had shifted to a mixture of respect and caution. He had underestimated humans, assuming their strength was limited to what could be seen. Now he realized human strength was more than muscle. It was endurance, focus, adaptability, and teamwork combined. His arrogance was replaced with a reluctant admiration. Leo stepped back, muscles aching but eyes calm. Mara and Owen flanked him, equally exhausted but steady. They had survived what no outsider had before, and they had done it with precision, control, and coordination. The alien spectators, once mocking and arrogant, now watched humans with a mixture of fear, admiration, and curiosity. Captain Rule turned to his officers, voice quiet but firm. Prepare for tomorrow. If these humans can survive this, we must understand their limits. The humans returned to their quarters, muscles sore, but spirits strong. Leo looked out at Earth, glowing peacefully in the distance. He clenched his fist, feeling determination and resolve. Mara adjusted her stance, breathing steadily. Owen examined their readings, making notes for the next trial. They expect the impossible tomorrow, Mara said. Leo nodded. Then we will show them how humans handle the impossible together. And as the night fell over the arena, the humans rested, knowing the galaxy was watching. They had proven that strength was not just muscle, but focus, endurance, and teamwork. Tomorrow would bring even greater challenges, but they were ready. The next day, the grand arena was filled with spectators from many worlds. Ships floated around Earth, watching the live display. Captain Rule had ordered the gravity fields to be pushed even higher than before, testing the humans to the edge of endurance. The ceremonial platform was massive, with additional weights, obstacles, and devices designed to challenge anyone who dared step onto it. Leo, Mara, and Owen entered the arena. The crowd fell silent. They had already seen humans survive impossible weights, but the arena now promised danger, unpredictability, and extreme conditions. Leo felt the platform vibrate under his feet as the gravity intensified. His muscles tensed, but he moved forward steadily. Mara scanned the surrounding controls, noticing subtle manipulations from cadets who still hoped to trip the humans. She signaled to Leo and Owen, and together they adjusted their approach. They were ready for sabotage. The first challenge was a moving weight platform, designed to shift unpredictably with every step. A group of alien champions attempted it first, straining against the sudden shifts. Many fell, struggling to maintain balance. The audience gasped at every failure. Leo approached the moving platform with calm determination. Mara followed, providing support, while Owen monitored the gravity spikes. They stepped onto the shifting weight and began moving in sync. Each step was precise, each adjustment calculated. The audience watched in awe as humans navigated the dangerous platform with fluid control. A sudden pulse of gravity slammed downward. Leo's arm shook as he shifted the weight of a massive block, keeping it steady. Mara mirrored his movements, counterbalancing every tilt. Owen shouted adjustments, guiding them through the spikes and dips. Their cooperation was flawless, a dance of endurance, strength, and instinct. Some cadets tried to intervene, activating hidden controls to increase the challenge. Mara acted instantly, disabling the unauthorized panels. Sparks flew from overloaded conduits, and the platform shuddered violently. But the humans remained steady, adjusting their grip and stance with incredible precision. Captain Rule watched from the central deck, his pride clashing with awe. He had never seen any species adapt and endure like this. His advisors whispered among themselves, noting that human strength was more than physical, it was mental, controlled, and unpredictable. The next obstacle was a collapsing bridge suspended above a pit filled with energy conduits. Alien champions struggled to cross, some falling into the dangerous pit. Leo assessed the bridge, calculating each step and weight distribution. Mara followed, bracing every plank that threatened to break. Owen kept the gravity readings in check, calling out adjustments as necessary. They moved carefully, slowly but steadily. Each step was deliberate. Sparks and small fires ignited along the bridge as wires overloaded, but the humans pressed on. The audience was spellbound, realizing that these humans were not just enduring, they were mastering every challenge with focus and teamwork. A sudden tremor hit the platform beneath the bridge. One plank cracked, threatening to drop Mara into the pit. Leo reacted instantly, using the block he carried to prop her balance. Mara's quick reflexes allowed her to adjust, and together they moved forward without hesitation. The audience gasped at their calm under extreme danger. Captain Rule clenched his fists. He had always believed strength came from muscle alone. Now he saw that human endurance, adaptability, and teamwork could surpass even the mightiest of alien champions. His advisors nodded silently, whispering that humans might be more formidable than they had ever imagined. The final challenge was a towering pillar of shifting weights, each moving unpredictably as gravity shifted. Even alien champions hesitated before attempting it. Leo, Mara, and Owen assessed the situation. They approached the pillar together, lifting and balancing the weights as one. Each movement required precise coordination, anticipation, and immense strength. As they climbed, gravity intensified further, pushing their bodies to the limit. Their muscles burned, sweat poured, and fatigue pressed down, but they did not falter. Leo shifted a weight with his back and arms while Mara supported from the side. Owen shouted adjustments, guiding their movements as the pillar swayed dangerously. Suddenly, a hidden gravity spike, triggered by cadets, threatened to topple the pillar. Mara reacted immediately, stabilizing the weight while Leo adjusted his stance. Owen monitored every fluctuation, shouting warnings and instructions. Their teamwork was seamless, moving as if connected by instinct. The audience watched in stunned silence. Alien champions fell one by one, unable to match the humans' precision and endurance. Even the cadets who had attempted sabotage now stood in awe, whispering about the humans' incredible coordination and resilience. Captain Rule's face was pale, a mix of awe, respect, and fear. He had underestimated humans. Not only could they endure extreme conditions, but they could also adapt, coordinate, and overcome challenges that no alien champion had survived. Finally, Leo, Mara, and Owen reached the top of the pillar. They stood together, heavy breaths escaping their lips, bodies trembling from exertion. The audience erupted into applause and cheers, acknowledging the humans' unmatched skill and endurance. Rule stepped forward slowly, his voice low but firm. Humans, you have proven that strength is not just muscle. It is endurance, control, and cooperation. You are formidable beyond what I expected. Leo nodded, muscles sore but proud. We are not just muscle. We rely on teamwork, focus, and adaptability. That is our strength. Mara and Owen nodded in agreement, sharing a brief look of satisfaction. They had survived every challenge, faced sabotage, and proven themselves to an audience that had once mocked them. The humans returned to their quarters, exhausted but resolute. Leo looked out at Earth, glowing peacefully in the distance. He clenched his fist, feeling determination and pride. Mara and Owen rested alongside him, sharing silent acknowledgement of what they had achieved. They expected to break us, Mara said quietly. Leo nodded. But we showed them the real strength of humans. Together. As night fell over the arena, the humans prepared for the final challenge ahead. The galaxy had witnessed their endurance, their control, and their teamwork, and tomorrow they would show that human strength was not only physical, but also the courage to rise above any obstacle. The final day in the arena arrived with a sense of tension that could be felt even outside the ship. Ships from distant systems surrounded the Drift Crown, their occupants eager to see if humans could survive the ultimate test. The gravity calibration was pushed to its extreme limits, the ceremonial platform laden with multiple weighted obstacles, swinging hammers and shifting blocks that threatened to crush or throw anyone who faltered. Leo, Mara, and Owen stepped onto the platform together. The air hummed with anticipation. Captain Rule stood at the central deck watching intently. His pride had been challenged in ways he could not deny, and now he wanted to see the true limits of human strength, endurance, and resolve. The first trial began with swinging hammers designed to force the participants off balance. Alien champions had attempted it before, many falling or nearly crushed. Leo took the lead, anticipating the rhythm of the swings. Mara followed closely, supporting and adjusting each movement. Owen monitored the gravity spikes, calling out precise adjustments. The humans moved in perfect coordination, timing each step, each lift, each dodge. Their movements were smooth and precise, defying the extreme gravity and the chaotic swings of the hammers. The alien audience watched in stunned silence, unable to comprehend how humans could maintain control under such pressure. Next came the shifting blocks, rising and falling unpredictably. Even the strongest aliens hesitated. Leo and Mara lifted and balanced the blocks with calculated effort, their teamwork flawless. Owen provided direction and timing, ensuring they avoided the worst of the gravity spikes. The ceremonial platform trembled beneath them, yet they moved steadily, never faltering. Suddenly, a gravity surge intensified, threatening to overwhelm them. The platform quaked violently. Sparks flew from overloaded conduits, and a wave of panic swept through the alien spectators. Captain Rule barked orders, but even his elite forces could not stabilize the arena. Leo's mind focused. He shifted the heaviest block, redistributing the weight, while Mara adjusted her position to counterbalance. Owen shouted real-time updates, guiding their timing and placement. Their coordination was seamless, instinctive, and precise. Then came the final obstacle, a massive energy core suspended above the platform. It pulsed dangerously, ready to collapse or explode with the slightest disturbance. Alien champions dared not approach. The cadets whispered nervously among themselves, realizing the humans might achieve the impossible. Leo moved first, lifting the energy core's stabilizing block. Mara assisted, holding the other side steady. Owen calculated the pressure and called out every adjustment. Gravity spikes intensified, the core swung unpredictably, yet the humans moved in perfect harmony. They lifted, balanced, and stabilized it, step by step, until it rested securely above the platform. The alien audience erupted in applause and astonishment. Their laughter, mockery, and arrogance had vanished. Humans had not only survived, but mastered every challenge, showing endurance, control, adaptability, and teamwork beyond any alien expectation. Captain Rule stepped forward, his expression a mix of awe, respect, and humility. He approached the humans cautiously. Leo, Mara, Owen, you have proven that strength is not simply measured in muscle or size. You endure, adapt, and cooperate. Your kind is formidable. Leo nodded, muscles aching, but spirit strong. Strength comes not just from muscle, but from endurance, focus, and working together. That is what humans can do. Mara and Owen nodded, sharing the look of pride and satisfaction. They had faced the impossible, overcome sabotage, survived extreme conditions, and displayed the unity of their species. Captain Rule raised his hands to the crowd. Witness humanity. They are not fragile. They are not weak. They are a species to be respected, admired, and allied with. Learn from them. Let no one ever doubt their capabilities again. The alien audience cheered, some standing, some kneeling in reverence. Cadets who had mocked the humans earlier now whispered tales of their endurance and precision. Alien champions, once the embodiment of strength, nodded respectfully, realizing that true power was more than physical. After the ceremony, Leo, Mara, and Owen returned to their quarters, exhausted but triumphant. The trials had tested their bodies, minds, and spirit, but they had proven that human strength was a combination of endurance, adaptability, and teamwork. Leo gazed out the viewport at Earth, calm and blue in the distance. He clenched his fist, feeling pride and determination. Mara adjusted her stance, breathing steadily, and Owen reviewed the data collected from the trials, impressed by the humans' performance. They expected us to fail, Mara said quietly. Leo nodded. But we showed them what humans can do. Together, we can rise above any challenge. The galaxy had witnessed humanity's true strength. Their endurance, control, and cooperation had surpassed every expectation, changing the way other species viewed them. Captain Rule had learned that humans were not to be underestimated, and the alliance between Earth and other worlds was now built on respect, admiration, and mutual understanding. As night fell over the arena, the humans rested. They had lifted, balanced, endured, and mastered challenges that no one else could. They had proven that true strength comes from working together, adapting, and never giving up, no matter the odds. and the galaxy would never forget the day humans rose above the impossible, showing that strength is more than muscle, it is courage, endurance, and unity.